I just finished reading Normism, The Philosophy of Norm Macdonald by Max West. This book is a great example of the beauty of self-publishing. If West couldn't publish this himself, I doubt we would have ever seen a book like this about Norm. Now, most people remember Norm Macdonald from his time on SNL. Now, he was likely booted off the show for all of his jokes about O.J. Simpson.
Well, in a questionable move by the defense team this week, O.J. Simpson demonstrated how to stab two people at the same time. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat. Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California. A down-and-out O.J. Simpson, depressed that all of his money-making ideas have failed, has decided to go back to doing what he does best, killing people.
West gets into the details regarding the likelihood of this and the various versions of Norm's recounting of his SNL era. But Norm was seen as a living legend in the world of stand-up comedy. In comedy, you will often see comics where you can tell so much of what they do has been influenced by people like Dave Chappelle, Dave Attell, Patrice O'Neal, Louis C.K., or even the performative comedy that we so often see today with its clapter.
Clapter? Clapter. That's when one of your jokes doesn't work, you don't get a laugh, you say something very obvious that everyone understands is correct. That way, at least you get applause.
But Norm's comedic voice was very much his own, and no one has ever cracked the code of how to replicate it. Max West heavily researched this book and supplied Norm fans with a massive library of footnotes and sources. Norm was famous for tweeting and deleting, but West supplied us with now deleted tweets that further push what Norm's ideas on certain subjects were. After a brief biography, West dives into Norm's politics, his religious faith, and his philosophical and literary influences.
My favorite book is Search for Lost Time. My favorite American book is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I love Russian literature, and that's what I read mostly. Yeah, just the standard stuff. I don't like Dostoevsky, but I like the actual good writers.
Despite playing the fool, Norm was an intellectual titan that felt no need to put on academic airs. Now, when Norm died, it caught the comedy world off guard.
Didn't even know he was sick.
He had hid his illness, likely one that he had been fighting for decades. West examines the breadcrumbs Norm left for us and the evidence that certain jokes Macdonald had made about the illness or death of others was actually about himself, and that Norm was really weaving his own comedy about the fate that awaits us all. Death.
Who the hell do you think I am? I'm deaf.
West handles this with care and makes a very compelling case.
Yeah, well, I have a fear of not existing.
Yes, but the writer Nabokov said that he saw a picture one time, and it was a picture of before he was born. And it was a picture of his mother with his brother and sister that were older than him, but he had not been born yet. And he said when he saw that picture, there was no terror in him, even though he was looking at a picture where he didn't exist.
But he didn't know anything, so...
Right, he didn't, but looking at that picture didn't terrify him that he didn't exist. So he said, it won't terrify me afterwards.
Because I won't know.
Normism, The Philosophy of Norm Macdonald, is a must-read for comedy fans. That old chunk of coal from Canada was one of a kind and is surely missed.
There's nothing in my Christianity that says I'm better than anyone else. It says the exact opposite, that I'm just, like my friend Billy Joe Shaver, an old country singer, he says, I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm going to be a diamond someday. And that's why I love that line.
His status as one of the greatest comics of all time is without question. Hats off to Max West for this labor of love. You should be immensely proud of this really awesome book.
for the